And he can cut out any portion of this that is awkward, I'm
mint
sure.
and blend. All right, so today is actually the 22nd of September. This is our first podcast for GC Speaks. We don't know.
We don't know what the name is going to be of this.
So if you have a name, let us know. But anyways, I want to start off with an arm wrestling.
Okay, let's see. Let's see who wins.
Whoever wins dictates the way this thing goes.
Okay.
All right. Cameraman.
Tim can count.
Yeah.
Now, are you allowed to have another arm on the table?
No.
Okay, then your arm has to be down.
Your
No
arm can
leverage.
be on the table. No, because I don't know what you're doing underneath there. You could have a handle.
There's
Can we get a video of the bottom that actually there's no handle? All right, Tim, you're gonna have to count us off.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Hold on. What does that mean? Take your hand off. We go.
This is a
I'm
moment.
gonna count.
Okay.
I'm gonna count down. You guys are.
Yep.
Do you guys moisturize?
He
No.
does.
You do. I know.
I don't work construction, though.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
You ever seen the movie Over the Top?
Oh, my gosh.
So I will be conducting today's interview.
Oh,
Oh, I'm a little flushed. Hold on, let me get some coffee. All right,
I'm
so
embarrassed.
so
He is like 2-1 on me. If that.
oh, really? In our shot. So that's our camera guy, Tim.
Okay. Well, let's give the audience a clear depiction of what we're wanting to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this podcast, so this is the very first episode. So we want to bring some clarity to what is For Good Community and kind of what we're doing, how we got created, not creative, but we are creative. Anyways, let's just start off. So this is Jeff, and my name is Kyle. We both work for Good Community, but Jeff is the founder. So kind of tell me a little bit of background and a story of kind of what inspired this
Yeah.
kind of movement.
So for the first episode, my idea is just to give an elevator pitch of the organization because I'm sure nobody wants to sit on this podcast and listen to me talk forever. So anyways, what is For Good Community? Why do we exist? The idea of For Good Community is that communities, society will not change by a few people or a few organizations doing all the action and work. That's just not enough for any measurable change.
Yeah.
So the idea of For Good Community is to empower everyday people to have an active part in serving and loving one another, everyday people, right?
Yeah.
This all started in COVID, and it just kind of snowballed from there. We started doing food insecurity with a small food pantry in Henderson, Kentucky. And then that just continued, as you know, into a snowball effect of social good across the country. We primarily are doing children upliftment events right now. We have 17?
Yeah. 17.
Yeah, 17 Kid for Good centers, which is our primary program. And then out of that, we have a huge amount of other programs such as Hope for Good, Give for Good, all directing and serving children, empowering them to serve others.
Yeah. And so kind of with that, obviously, I work for Good, but like kind of, so we have a lot of generosity undertones. Like why is that such a huge deal? And for you to like you said, society shouldn't wait on nonprofits, government officials, and other people to make that change when they can make that change. So why is that like the forefront of your creation, essentially?
I think just the obvious observation from the founding of the organization, if we're acting alone, we're really not going to change anything. There might as well not even be a For Good Community. Our whole existence is to impact others, to be able to impact other people in their communities. So we very much value the ripple effect. So we want to create change in individual hearts for them to then be creating change in other people. Because of the other people that we're serving are going to be able to impact on scale that we would be unable to do just as one lone organization.
Yeah, and then so with that, obviously we've been in existence since 2020, so it's been a long time. What is like a story that just like, there might be more than one story. What's a story that sticks out to you? We're in a 5-year journey, which for the nonprofit space, as you know, we're just an infant. Like we're still like we're not like there's 40-year-olds, 100-year-old organizations out there doing amazing things, but in our 5 years, what is a story that just like rings out to you?
Yeah, so I mean, I think as much for anybody as it is myself, like this has been like a huge like learning curve for me being involved in like the nonprofit space. A lot of personal growth that I can see, like I never really expected, but have been impacted in very unexpected ways just through the course of us doing business. One of those impacts was in Columbus, Ohio. We were probably only about a year, maybe a year and a half old at this point, and we were doing just a big community upliftment event in a parking lot of inner city Columbus. And just to give a little background for the audience, up to that point, regarding homeless people, For Good Community was never created to be, you know, directing our attention towards homeless people. Of course, we serve and help homeless people through like just the course of operation, but we were never created to solely serve homeless people. Um, this was COVID time, well, after COVID, and at that point, like everybody was, all these employers, you couldn't pass a single business that didn't say we're hiring, needing help.
Absolutely.
So I probably had a little bit of a hardened heart towards homeless people. I'm like, how is it even possible in this country to be homeless? There's tons of jobs available. Like, how is that even possible that somebody doesn't have a job, that somebody isn't working and they are homeless?
Mhm.
Well, anyways, we were in Columbus, Ohio. We were doing this big truckload distribution. I believe it was actually 2 truckloads. And we had a small team. It was myself and I believe 4 other people with me. And we had this giant line of people that assembled for this distribution. And again, we were short staffed, the trucks arrived late, and it was a lot of work for 5 people to get all of this unloaded. And this line of people is getting a little antsy. So in my mind, I'm like, man, I wish like somebody would just kind of jump in here and help us get this distribution underway. And about that same time or shortly after, a group of men around my age, homeless, came just migrating through the parking lot and just randomly stopped and asked, do you guys need any help? And I'm like, absolutely, because like we're like burning down in that parking lot.
2 truckloads is a lot of
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff.
So, anyways, these guys, and I don't remember exactly how many of them there were. It was probably 3 or 4, but they stopped what they were doing and they just helped us unload and situate all this inventory for this line of people. Again, probably 200-300 people in this line. None of those people stepped forward. It was these homeless people.
Hmm.
So, anyways, I expected, them to maybe be there for a few minutes and then go on their way. They, to my surprise, stayed the entire distribution. All these people through the line were able to gather resources and eventually leave. And then we're cleaning up, and these guys are still there with us, helping pick up all these pieces and cardboard and trash. And
Did
I
they
was,
grab anything at all?
no, like absolutely nothing. They took nothing from
Just stayed to help.
they just were helping. So it was very much that just left a huge impact on me. And the one guy that was helping me directly, he was around my age, and I wanted to just dig in and ask, like, why are you homeless? Like, what happened? Because up to my mind, had this more callous point of view, unfortunately. And anyways, I asked him, I was like, kind of what's going on? Like, what led to you being homeless? And he had a horrible story, and I don't have like all the details memorized, but essentially, his dad passed away at a young age on a motorcycle, and his mom passed away when he was about 17, I believe he said, of a drug overdose. So at that point, he was essentially on the streets, and that just hit me like really hard because I put myself in that point of view and in his shoes, and I'm like, my gosh, like he literally did not have much of an upper hand.
Hmm.
And, putting myself in that situation, how could I expect to be in any different of a situation than what he was in? And,
Hmm.
um, he had great intentions. Everybody that was there they were just great people, and it just really changed my perspective of like, sometimes the situation that we judge people on is not their choice. They are victims of circumstance. And that just kind of changed my direction a little bit of like, we need to be having an active and measurable impact in anybody's life that approaches us for help. You know, we don't need to be judgers of situations, but more just an uplifting presence and really encourage people. But to that point of view that I just referenced with this guy, that, you know, just kind of left a seed in my mind. Like, let's help people along the way. Like, let's make sure that we're uplifting people before they fall. And some people are already kind of starting below the bar a little bit. But as an organization, let's really focus to help people before they're just completely destitute. Like, let's help
Yeah.
support them before they reach a point of where it's a lot harder to come back.
Yeah, and for the audience, you know, this is our first podcast. Obviously, we're talking about the organization. So that is why For Good, you know, why we've never had a socioeconomic status. You know, a lot of nonprofits, which every nonprofit is different, but like our resource center in Henderson, like it's open Wednesday through Friday. We don't ask how much money you make. We don't ask your situation. Like you say, it's hard to judge a book by its cover because, you know, like these guys in Columbus is an excellent story of why we do what we do, because everyone needs a helping hand and you just don't know what they've gone through.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something really cool that For Good has done is, you know, if you need help, come see us. We're not going through a paperwork filing. Just, hey, everyone needs a lending hand sometimes. So I guess to wrap this up, is there anything you want to leave people with based on the story, or just kind of more
Yeah.
information?
I think, like, if we want to kind of red thread it through that story, like, don't judge situations that, you know, you're not educated on, like I did. That was a huge personal mistake of mine, and something, you know, I'm very cognitive not to repeat. Like, you know, understand situations before you have any point of view on them, and just always offer a lending and uplifting hand to anybody that asks, because you don't know, again, what that situation is. And if somebody comes to you asking for help, I feel like that's our job as humans to, you know, answer that call. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, this has been inspiring, and yeah, hopefully you guys learn, and maybe someone out there is kind of in your same shoes as you were back in 21 about, you know, this kind of callousness, but now you kind of, you know, seen through that.
yeah.
And any final remarks, or want to try the left hand arm wrestling?
I think I'm done on that. Hopefully Tim cuts it out. But anyways, yeah, hopefully this wasn't too awkward and cringy. And then going forward, I believe a lot of these podcasts are going to revolve around people that we're actually helping, to
Correct.
give their point of view on kind of those impacts that we're making. It's one thing for us to kind of talk about impacts from, you know, this tower, but it's
Yeah.
another thing to hear from, like, the actual recipient's point of view. And I
Yeah.
think that'll be very valuable to the audience, and hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
uplifting and motivational.
Yeah, and then anyone we have helped, obviously I'll be reaching out to some people that I know directly, but feel free to comment and obviously like this and share this. But yeah, we would love, if we've helped you in the past, we would love to kind of share your story, because like we said, everyone has a story, and we would just love to capture that and just let other people know that they're not alone. And like Jeffrey said, there's a lot of people out there that judge books by its cover, and I think just us being humans is what makes us human, is just we want to connect with other people.
Yeah.
And sharing your story helps us connect deeper on another level. So anyways,
Cool.
yeah, episode 1 down, more to come.
Sounds good. Bye bye, everybody.